All right, after 2 weeks, I'm leaving my camp near Wickenburg. This was a little bit of a tricky campground to get into because there is a lot of road erosion, and it's rained quite a bit even after I came here. There's a few trees that extend out over the road, and I'm going to try and minimize the pinstriping that the side of my car and trailer is going to get. Super sandy here. Go into town, get some gasoline, just a couple supplies, and head towards Parker today. And I am not sure where I'll end up camping there. It's about 10:30. It's about 2 hours to Parker, so I should get into that town about 1-ish. Walmart, re-up on all my water. I am down to less than 1 liter of water. I'm actually in an established campground for once, a pay campground near Parker on the California side of the Colorado River, a little campground called Crossroads, and it's just $5 a night. And if you have the senior citizens park pass, it's only $2.50 a night. You can stay up to 14 days here, and a bunch of the campsites are actually right on the river, but I'll show you the outside right now. And I like this spot, and I'll take you for a walk through of the campground and show you what those spots are like. The reason I like this spot, it's actually on the very end of these, so I'm facing open ground with trees and sagebrush, and overlooking this really beautiful little mountain range to the west here. I'll pan around to the left. There is the entryway out to the paved road over there, which leads up to the road to cross the bridge to Parker. I think it's maybe 6-7 miles to there. You can get into Parker, and certainly in less 10 minutes from here. As I pan around, you'll see these 6 campgrounds. There's only 3 of us out of the 6 using them right now, and you might see some trailers over there to the distance, and they are closer to the river. And one nice thing about those campgrounds is there's a lot of big trees, and it is starting to get pretty hot. Today's supposed to be 85 degrees, and so it's kind of nice probably having the shade trees. But for me, I rely on the solar so much for my power. I decided to stay out here, and I'll just be leaving today anyway. I only wanted to stay here 4 or 5 days. So we'll just start from here, and I'll walk into the campground and give you an idea what those campgrounds look like. You can see I have the last campground on this far end. Closer to the road, but actually quieter than on the river. But what happens here at Crossroads is all the spots near the river are usually taken. It's all on a first come first served basis. But like me, when I got here, there was 1 or 2 spots left in this area right here, and you take one of those, and you can get on a list for when someone leaves, and when your name comes up, you get one of the riverside campgrounds. And it's a 14-day total limit, so there's always a turnover. It's really nice. But I decided the spot I have, I like. It's grown on me after a couple days. And the river's actually noisy. There's a lot of power boats going up and down it. Might be able to see some of them in the distance right there right now. Has a nice bathroom. Kind of a pit toilet. I can see one is not occupied right now. As I walk up to the river, you can get an idea what happens on this. There's a couple jet skis out there, and one of those speedboats just roared down the lake. There's certainly people fishing on it. There, and water skiing. There's a water skier right there. But here's kind of a typical campground that's down by the river. And it does have a pink slip on it, so maybe someone's taken it even though there's no people here. But this will give you a good idea of how close these riverside campgrounds are. It's pretty. Some of the spots that are off the river, but again, nice shade trees around a lot of them. And we'll walk up towards the other end here. Like I said, $5 a night. There's no hookups or anything like that, and you also even have to bring in your water. But there's a dumpster somewhere for your trash, and like I said, a very nice clean pit toilet. They keep that thing in really nice shape. Here's the site host. I said there's a real sweet couple that runs the place. When I was at my campground that I'm in at now, there was a guy that was on the list. And he was there for a couple days till his name came up, and we became friendly. So even though I'm not on the river, I'm welcome to come over to his camp and hang out on the river. Not all of them can you get a full-size travel trailer in, but a lot of them you can. But maybe I'll show you my friend's spot up here. He got the one at the very end, and I think it's one of the best ones. But what I'll do first, this is his spot right here. I'm just going to walk down to the, there's a boat launch here. And if you do have a kayak or that sort of thing, you can certainly bring it down to here and put it into the river. A lot of people from their campgrounds have come down. Very wet today. I think I'll actually avoid this for now. I'm slipping around in mud. Check out this quadruple trunk palm tree. I think this is so fucking cool. Like, well, there's 5 trunks to it. There's a trail over here that I keep seeing people walk down, and I guess it goes down across the paved road, and will take you right up to that mountain range near the pinnacles, from what I'm told. So I'm just gonna step out and scout this little trail out a little bit. I'll just walk up to the paved road, I think. Right where I'm walking, all kinds of burros come through every day. And unlike most places I've been where there's burrows like Alamo Lake and a couple other spots that I've camped in, the burrows are suspicious of people. They don't really let you get near them too much. Like if you so much as open the door to your trailer and the door creaks slightly, they're already moving away as fast as they can. So usually I've never been closer than 100 feet to them. But here, they'll come right up to you. And there are signs on the campground not to feed the burros, but that's probably what happens, as they're used to getting fed. It's a really deep dry wash here. It's probably been widened out for flood control, I would imagine. You can see the creosote bush is starting to flower out here. I'm out on the paved road now, just walking up a couple hundred yards. And I think on the left here there's a trailhead. So I noticed this ruin of a building here, all made out of stone. Thought I'd just check it out on the way in. If you want to read this whole sign, go ahead and feel free to pause and read the sign. Looks like burros walk through here. What do we have here? A notice sign. Cultural resources in the vicinity of this notice are fragile and irreplaceable. The Archaeological Resources Protection Act of 1979 and Antiquities Act of 1906 protect them for the benefit of all Americans. Enjoy but do not destroy American heritage. Take a walk around. It's a nice change of pace to have all these big trees around now that closer to the Colorado River. Look at this thing, like that trunk arches completely over. It's like 4 foot thick, you can see, and then arches straight back down into the ground. And it looks like it's rerouted itself there. Interesting. That is a massive trunk. Looks like we have a grave here. Someone's included a compass and a crucifix. It doesn't look like anything's left on this little sign. Could be a pet. Most likely a pet, judging by the size of it. What a cool shade tree. Across the road there's a sign that says Crossroads Backcountry Byway. We'll go take a look at this. And there's a cover over here to the left, which looks like some signs on it, and maybe that'll giving me a clue as to where this trail goes exactly. So much warmer in California here. There's much more flowers, and spring's a lot farther away on this way. Brittle bush are flowering here, unlike where I left from a week ago. It's going to be in the upper 80s here today. I like it hot though. Okay. History of Crossroads. Without question, living in Crossroads in the early 1930s was a rough way of life. There were few modern conveniences. Days were hot and dry. Killings were common and few were solved. Why live in Crossroads? Most people originally came to work in the copper mines, but the town experienced much of its growth with the building of Parker Dam. Men and women, almost all of them transients, built shacks, lean-tos, and tents for shelter at the junction where the river crossed the highway. Roughnecks ruled. Crossroads was a lawless, roughneck town that actually grew to be larger than Parker, Arizona. It once had a population of nearly 3,000 people. The biggest businesses in town were the saloons and dance halls. Now, across the street, what that building was, Schwanbecks started the Crossroad Mercantile Company in 1933. As the area's first postmaster, Mary operated the post office out of her store, later known as Schwanbeck Store. She survived 2 husbands and was at home in the store until 1967 when she passed away. In the true spirit of a country mercantile, Mary's store continued to supply the area with everything from groceries and gasoline to rental cabins until 1973. Today you can look across the street and see the walls of the old store, the last remaining structure of Crossroads. Apparently there's pottery and arrowheads out here. Of course, if you find anything like pottery or anything like arrowheads, you leave it where you find it. Visit a 171-foot figure. Not from here, ancient people created enormous human and animal figures on the desert floor, known as intaglios. These larger-than-life images lay in tribute to artists of lost age. By scraping away at the desert and moving dark stones, an outline of figures as tall as 171 feet were created. Mysteriously, these figures are most impressive when viewed from above, but there are no mountains nearby, and the people who created them had no means of seeing them from the air. The intaglios of Blythe, California are located just down the road from this backcountry byway. You can see the river there. Crossroads is right here where I'm at. I'll be pulling out of here tomorrow. So I think I'll be doing a little packing, get as much that I can get ready today. If you're ever in Parker, this is not a bad option if it's late in the day and you just want to hang around near the river for even the whole 2 weeks. Take care. Bye-bye.